Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I am your hostess with mostest, Coach Tammy, out here in beautiful San Diego, California. I am one of the master coaches with Best Life Creation Society, and I just want to welcome you to today's talk, which is my weekly talk. Hey, Miss Sarah. Hey, Jen. Let's talk about it. Every week I pick a different subject, a different topic to talk about, to really just kind of give you guys some inspiration, some motivation, maybe a different perspective on how to look at some things. And so this past Saturday, I went on this huge mountain hike. My objective was to go hike to Cucamonga Peak and get my book cover photo. Well, they've had so much snow on the mountain this year that the mountain itself was impassable. Like that part of the mountain to get to the peak was impassable. So I had talked to like 3 different photographers, and all of them canceled at the last minute. And I had a lot of people say like, hey, isn't that a sign that you shouldn't go? And I'm like, no, that's a sign that you've made it this far by yourself. Take your ass out there and go. So that's what I did. It was an 11-mile hike. 7.5 hours of grueling uphill hiking. I went up Timber Trail. I made it most of the way up to Timber Trail, and there was just too much snow and ice going on, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not real comfortable with that. And so I did get some beautiful photos, and I've posted them on my timeline. So my timeline is public, so you guys are welcome to go check them out. And I posted like 5 or 6 that said, hey, I think these could be possible cover photos for my book, but I wasn't really feeling them. And so I had some friends, they inboxed me, or they left comments on the pictures, or sent me text messages after they saw them. And it was like, well, you could use your Facebook profile picture, or you got this picture, and this picture looks really good. I don't think you need like some spectacular picture for your book cover. So I realized I had not done a really good job at explaining what breaking up with your victim is really about, what it means to take your power back. I believe that there are a lot of people who do not understand. Hey, Chip Baker. Hey, Scott. I believe that there are a lot of people that probably do not even realize that they are living in their victim right now. They are, or have been, letting life kind of beat them up, letting life maneuver them whichever way it wants to go, not realizing that they are in control of their thoughts, they are in control of their destiny, they're in control of everything that's happening in their life. And when you're on the negative side of your thought patterns, and you're got all of this negative stuff coming at you left and right, time after time after time after time, it's hard to breathe. It's really hard to, and I'm speaking from personal experience, okay? Like this segment is not to beat anybody up. I'm going to speak from my heart and where I was, and how this book came about, and why I feel like it is so important to get out to so many people. And I have a launch date for you guys today too. So my book is Dear Victim, It's Time for Us to Break Up Now. And I came up with the title because like I was living in my victim, man. I love all those hearts. Thank you so much. I lived in a victim mentality. I had a negative thought process for a really, really long time. And I've said that on many times on this particular thing every week. I had an 8-lane triple-decker negative superhighway going on with my thought processes. We are where we are because of how we think. Our beliefs are just thoughts we keep thinking. Our words come from our beliefs, which come from our thoughts. So if we in our experiences in life come from those thoughts, those beliefs, those words, you create your journey with what it is that you think. Whether you know anything about the law of attraction or not, if you're just learning and you're trying to figure it out, people say, how do thoughts turn into things? Because it's an attraction-based universe. Like, we attract everything in our life, whether it's positive or negative. I've had several people. I did a really big interview yesterday for another podcast that's going to be out on the 28th. I can't wait for all the promotional material to come out because it's going to be really promoted and everything. And I'm super excited because I shared my whole story with him. He was really in depth and asking me why this, why that, would you go back? Would you change anything? You know, are you upset about the things that happened to you in your life? And actually, you know what? I'm not. He was really intrigued with the idea that I wasn't mad at my mom and that I loved my mom very much so, even after, you know, the sexual abuse that I endured from her. And, you know, I don't know my biological father, but I'm not mad at him. You know what I mean? I don't hate him. If he's still alive, I wish you the best. Like, good luck to you wherever it is that you're at and whatever it is that you're doing. And I hope that you found your peace somewhere, you know what I mean? Whatever that is. And if you're not alive, you know, rest in peace. I want nothing but the best for you. And he was like, how do you step outside of yourself and look at bad situations and be okay with saying, I forgive you, and not holding any resentment and not holding any anger and doing all that? He was like, that's very adult of you. And it didn't strike me during the interview, but you know, I thought I was laying in bed and I was thinking about that last night. That's very adult of me. So is it commonplace for people to not be an adult? Is it commonplace, or has it been commonplace for people to always be angry, to hold grudges, to never forgive, to not look at a situation with a different perspective? And I had to really think about that. Hey, Jenny. I had to really think about that for a moment, because there was a really long time I was the queen of holding grudges. Queen. If you did something to me, I hated you. And you know, if you were on fire and I had a glass of water, I would drink it and watch you burn. That's how I felt. And I see some of those things popping up on my Facebook memories, and I'm quick to delete it because I feel all that hurt and all that anger and all that discord that was spewing from me for a really long time. And so I don't want to say that it's adult of me to be able to forgive people. I think it's part of growth. I think it is part of being in alignment with my higher power. I think it's, you know what, I believe that holding on to unforgiveness will crush you. Forgiveness is not an emotion, guys. Forgiveness is a decision. I held on to so much unforgiveness toward my mother for a really, really long time. I held on to a lot. Like, it wasn't until, what is this? This is 2019. It wasn't until 2016, after I did my very first public speaking event, early 2017, that I had realized I had never forgiven my father for the events that happened to me as a child. And I had to really think about for a moment, like, how do you forgive somebody you don't even know? Like, he was never, like, when him and mom finally separated. So I'm going to be a little bit all over the place because I keep going back to these moments in the interview and all these thought processes in my head. So you guys just bear with me, you know, drop some hearts, drop some thumbs up. You know, if you catch a nugget out of something that I'm saying, do, you know, hashtag golden nugget, you know, and let me know what that is. And if you're catching this on the replay, do a hashtag replay so I can come back and I can respond to your stuff, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to go over today, and I really, really, really want you guys to get this. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. But, you know, he was asking me, or I thought about, you know, how do you forgive somebody that you don't even know? My biological father was very abusive to my mother. He beat her regularly. He had her strung out on drugs. My mom never beat her drug demons. Like she was still doing her drug of choice was prescription drugs. She also did heroin. Heroin wasn't as prominent. She had gotten back into that toward the end of her days. And like I said, I love my mom very, very much. And like, I miss her mama hugs, man. She gave like the best mama hugs ever. And I learned so much from my mom, albeit it was a lot of things of what I didn't want in my life as I went forward as an adult. I wanted to make sure that my children never had to endure any of the things that I endured as a child. And I succeeded in that. I wanted to make sure that I graduated high school because she never did. I succeeded in that. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I succeeded in that. You know what I mean? I changed so much in my life to make sure that my history prior to that point didn't create my destiny. When bad things happen to us, we have a decision at that moment. Am I going to let this crush me and live in that victim mentality and believe that this is as good as it gets, and believe that life can't be any better than what it is right now in this moment? And I call bullshit. I'm living proof that shitty things can happen to you as a child, as a young adult, as an adult, and you can flip that switch, what I like to call having a light switch moment, and you can change your life almost instantaneously. And I say almost because, like, my first light switch moment, the first time I intentionally made a decision to create a positive change in my life was when I became a personal trainer, when I made the decision to become a personal trainer. It took me 2 years to do the studying because it took me 2 years to cultivate a belief that was strong enough that I was over 40 and I could still study and pass that test. It took over 2 years, just over 2 years, for me to cultivate a belief and change my negative thought patterns just enough to have a belief that I could make a living being a personal trainer and walk away from a very dark world of dancing, drugs, and alcohol. That belief, when I passed that test, I was like, I'm out. I did it. Like, I was full of tears. I was full on tears. I was on the phone with my daughter. Oh my God, I'm really a personal trainer. I did it. I passed that test. We all have power words. That's what I like to call it. We have power words. My power words are, I did it. Oh my God, I did it. Like, OMG, I did it. I did it is like when I was driving across country, I had the words, I did it with palm trees and a beach taped to my visor in my car. I had that taped to the visor in my car probably for about 6 months prior to me making the decision coming to California. I had to learn early on how to forgive. I had to learn how to forgive my mom because she gave birth to me. If she'd not given birth to me, I wouldn't be here to do these things that I'm doing with you guys right now. And doing this right here warms my heart. It lets me know that I am doing something that is making this world a better place. The butterfly effects of anybody that watches this, whether they're with me live or they're watching later, is insurmountable. And if I touch one person and give them a positive thought and have a little bit of a belief that this bullshit situation that I created myself or that I've allowed to continue, because being in a bad relationship is better than being alone. Being in a bad, loveless relationship is better than being alone, because if I'm alone, then I'm not loved. That was my belief for a really long time. I didn't love myself, so how could I love anybody else? I was taught from all the adult men in my life that sex was love. Sex is not love. So all of my relationships up until 2013 were cultivated around sex. Can you imagine how bad all of those turned out? Just gonna throw that out there. But I did that. You know what I mean? Nobody forced me to do anything I didn't want to do. All of that I did on my own. I said yes every time because I didn't want to be alone. I felt like if I was alone, I was not loved. That led me into my depression. My kids weren't talking to me. I couldn't see my grandkids. The guy that I was seeing had broken up with me 3 or 4 months prior to. We weren't talking. I was fat. I was not happy. I was 186 pounds, 38% body fat. I was doing webcam shows. I was dancing at private parties, just trying not to be homeless. I was in a serious survival mode. If you're in survival mode, you can't hit thrive mode. You've got it. What you do to survive is not going to help you thrive. There is a difference. That difference is breaking up with your victim and saying, I deserve something better. I deserve a better life. I am worthy of somebody loving me. But you know what? I can't have anybody love me until I can look in the mirror and I can say, I love you, Tammy. I forgive you for all the stupid decisions that you made that took you down paths that could have killed you. I'm thankful that you made it out, and I'm thankful that you made a different decision, and I'm thankful that you're still here, and I'm thankful that you're breathing, and I'm thankful that every day you make a conscious decision to make a different choice, to make a better choice, to make this world a better place, to love people unconditionally, and to learn how to love yourself unconditionally. To look at you, flaws and all, and know that you are beautiful and you are awesome and you are powerful because you choose to be. And that nobody can take your happiness from you because you are in charge of your happiness. I had to learn how to do that for myself. And when I learned how to do that consistently, when I could look in the mirror and say, damn, Gina, you look good today. No makeup, hair up in a ponytail, looking a hot freaking mess, but I look good from the inside. I didn't care what the outside of me looked like anymore. There was finally some light inside my soul, and it was starting to shine out. That's where your beauty is. It's on the inside. And once it starts shining out, you're going to attract other people that want some of your light. Not everybody that wants some of your light wants your light to keep shining. That's your circle. Okay? We all have an inner circle. We all have an outer circle. We all have haters. We all got some people that's looking at us like, why does she get that? Why does she get that? Why does she got the good looking man? Why does she make all the money? Why has she got that kind of car? Why has she got that kind of job? Because that's what I wanted. It's what I focused on. That's what I worked for. That's what I got, because that's what I wanted. Most of the people walking on the face of this planet don't know what the hell it is that they want. Let's start there. If the people in your circle or in your, I'm going to keep calling it a circle because that's what it is. Like, everything is 360. If you don't have people in your circle that are the wind beneath your wings that can celebrate your life with you, celebrate your wins with you, lend down a hand when you've stumbled to help you up and not beat you up because you did it, those are the people you need in your circle. The people that are throwing shade at you, trying to dull your shine, you ain't got to say nothing to them. You know what you do? You turn the brightness up on your shine, baby. Turn that brightness up, because you know what? That shade turns into a shadow, and the shadow eventually disappears because they can't handle your brightness. You can't be in a relationship with somebody that's not celebrating you. You can't be in a relationship if you can't celebrate you. I had to learn how to be able to celebrate me. All of me. Even all of the bullshit stuff that I had going on in my life. Like, know what, Tammy? You're working towards something better. You're focused on something better. It's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little work. Just keep, you see that light way over there? That lighthouse? You got to get there. Put your head down, and you keep looking up to make sure it's still there, but you put your head down and you walk. And if you can't walk, you crawl. And you crawl until you can walk, and then when you can walk, when you reach that point and you can run and you can go a little faster, run as far and as fast as you can and get to that light. That might be your survival mode, but once you get closer to that light, you're going to start hitting that thrive, because now you're going to realize, you know what? I I just walked away. All that stuff in your rear view mirror, it gets smaller as you keep going the other direction. You can't get the blessings in front of you if you're always looking behind you. I'm going to say that again. You cannot get the blessings that God, source, higher power is shining the light on in front of you if your ass is too busy looking behind you to see what the folks back there are trying to do. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Quit giving people in the cheap seats an expensive opinion in your life, man. They ain't got no business in your life. I don't care if that's your significant other. I don't care if that's your kids. I don't care if that's your parents. I don't care if that's your siblings, your friends, your coworkers, your boss. Nobody gets an opinion in your life but you, because you're the only one that's living your life. They ain't walking in your shoes. They ain't doing your grind. They ain't living your dream. They're not building your dream. You are. And if they can't hear you say, I don't want to hear your opinion, please escort them back to the nosebleed section where they can't hear you anymore. Boy, bye. Let them know, hey, you know what? I appreciate the time that you spent in my life, but your opinion of what it is that I'm doing and where I'm going is no longer necessary. So I'm going to escort you out off the stage from the VIP section. I'm going to escort you off to the left so the person on the right can step on, because they're on the same page that I am. And you know what? We're going this way and you now are going that way. And it's okay to do that. You've got to take control of your circle. You've got to take control of your life. That's what I mean by breaking up with your victim. You have to realize you are in charge of you. That's why my book cover is so important. And I have something very specific that I'm looking to project when somebody sees that book cover. Like when they see that book cover and they see me standing on top of that mountain, think about this for a second. If any of you have ever done mountain climbing or done hiking where it's been high elevations, that moment when you hit the peak, that moment where you be like, damn, that felt good. Like, that was tiring, that was hard, but I climbed that damn mountain, man, and I made it to the top, and it was freaking amazing. That's what I want somebody to feel when they see my book cover. I want my energy to jump up off that book and grab them and say, buy me now! That's what I want. And I'm not going to settle for anything less. And I know, actually, I just talked to one of my photographers yesterday, one of the ones that had to cancel because his sister-in-law is just found out she's stage 3 breast cancer. So we're going to keep her and his family in our prayers. But we're going up the first weekend in May. And he said, I'm going to be training. And he was like, we're going to get everything done and we're getting that photo for you. So, you know, it's set up the first weekend in May, which will be in 4 weeks. May 4th. Yeah, May 4th. We're going to go and we're going to hike that mountain and or climb that mountain. And we're going to get to Cucamonga and we're going to get that photo. And so the name of my book is Dear Victim, It's Time for Us to Break Up Now. And like I said, I lived the victim for a really long time. And I was unaware that I was playing the victim. Like when you hear my story, and even the guy that interviewed me yesterday, he was like, yeah, he was like, I wanted to interview you right away. He was like, but like, I was emotionally distraught listening to the little bit of your story that you told me. Like, it took the air out of my lungs. And I know that my story does that. But after you're talking to me and you realize, like, I'm really okay with my story. Like, I'm really okay with my life and how it's turned out, because I've created this amazing life despite all the things that I went through. Those things that I went through made me who I am. I had to learn who I am. I had to make a decision who I wanted to be. I had to make a decision which direction I wanted to go. And I had to learn that I had that control. That's what I came to this earth to do, man, is to teach people. You have control over your life. You get to decide where it is that you want to go and how you get there. So they said, dear victim, it's time for us to break up now. And while I was on that mountain on Saturday, I made the decision that my launch date is going to be July 4th, Independence Day. I cannot think of a better day for anybody to break up, to start the process. So, I mean, and I'm going to explain this in a second, but to start the process of breaking up with their inner victim than on Independence Day. And I say start the process because it was a process for me to break up with my victim. It wasn't, oh, shit, by the way, I've been a victim this whole time and I'm living in this whatever, on this merry-go-round with all of this negativity, and I'm just going to flip the switch and things are going to change. It wasn't like that at all. I would be lying to you, and I can't do that. I want you to understand that, you know, every thought that's ever been thought is still alive. Energy never dies. Every belief that's ever been believed by you, me, or whoever is still alive and well. Just because you change your belief doesn't mean that it can't creep up on you if you slip up on your thinking for a few minutes. Like you have to be in charge of your thoughts. You have to be aware. You have to have a very deep self-awareness of your thoughts. We have 60,000 plus thoughts that run through our head every single day. 60,000 plus thoughts. For those people who have not done some kind of personal development and are not aware that negative and positive thoughts are existing in their head on a regular basis, because negativity has become so commonplace, they don't understand that that's what that is. 75% of those 60,000 thoughts are negative. So when you do the math, that means you have 45,000 freaking negative thoughts going through your head on any given day. 45,000. You know what that leaves? That leaves 15,000 positive thoughts. You think you're a little out of balance? You want to change your life? Shift that just a little bit. If you can get from 15,000 positive thoughts to 20,000 positive thoughts, you're going to change your life dramatically. If you can change that from 20,000 positive thoughts to 25,000 positive thoughts, you're going to change your life dramatically. If you can change that 25,000 positive thoughts to 30,000 positive thoughts, now you're at the 50-50 mark of the 60,000 that run through your head. Your life will look nothing like what it was when you started this journey. You may decide that this is a goal that I want today, and you start going that direction, and as you grow, you outgrew that goal and you decide to bust a right and go a different direction, and that's okay. You may make another decision, okay, this is now my goal, and you start growing and you start changing your positive thought processes, and this big negative superhighway, you're jumping off and building a super highway of positivity, and you're jumping on that more often. You may change your goal again. Like, your dreams are going to evolve. Your goals are going to evolve. There's nothing that's set in stone. Steve Jobs said it, like, you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots going backwards. Because you can look back and you can see how things played out and why, the decisions that you made and what you learned from them. The only reason to look back is, what did I learn from that stuff? What did I learned? Like, I had to learn how to trust people. Like, think about it. If my mother and my biological father started sexually abusing me at the age of 2.5, and it went up until I was 7, and then my stepdad raped me at the age of 13, my stepdad was the first father figure that I had in my life that I called dad. And he betrayed me. My mom betrayed me. My biological father betrayed me. I had some serious trust issues for a long time. If my own mother can do that, what's another female going to do to me? If the person that I call dad is going to do that to me, what's another man going to do to me? I had to learn that I'm in control of who I trust, and not everybody is them. They had their own demons that they had to beat, and I had to step outside myself and say, you know what? I don't know what you had going on, but I love you anyway, and I forgive you. You're going to beat yourself up enough for what it was that you did. And I don't need to add any fuel to that fire. I don't need to pour any gasoline on that, because I need some peace. I can't hold on to that negativity. And when I did that, I let a weight up off my chest. I started manifesting beautiful women to come into my life that I could trust. And one of my very best friends, I met in a strip club where I was dancing. That's a very difficult place to meet somebody that you think you can trust and call your friend. And we've been best friends for 9 years now, and it's amazing. And so I'm living proof that it doesn't matter how negative your past was. You can have a beautiful, positive, wonderfully amazing, powerful future when you recognize that you have been living in your victim for a little while, and it's now time for you to stand up and take your power back, because you can and you have that control. So with that, I am going to let you guys go. We've been on here for 30 minutes. I love you so much. And I know I was kind of little all over the place, but I hope I got my point across. I hope you guys got some really, really awesome nuggets out of this talk today. I said, dear victim, it's time for us to break up now. It will be out July 4th. That is my launch date. The book cover will be coming soon. I'll be taking pictures so you guys can see it, and putting out all the information on where to get it. I'm self-publishing through Amazon. Super, super excited about all of that. If you would like to hear more talks like this, please join me on my podcast. It's called Life Awakening. Let's talk about it. It is wherever podcasts can be heard. If you're on Apple, please go to Apple Podcasts, leave me a 5-star rating, leave me a comment. I can comment back, and I would appreciate you so much to help us move up the food chain, so to speak, so that we can reach more people. You can friend request me on, I have a business page, which is tagged on here, and my personal page, which is also tagged on here. You can friend request me, inbox me. You can also hit hashtag Cali Tammy, and you can find me anywhere. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn. So love you guys to the moon and back. I really, really hope that you got some value out of today. If you would like to know more about Best Life Creation Society, what it is that is our mission, what it is that we stand for, what it is that we do, we would love to know more about you. Please go to bestlifecreationsociety.com, check out our events, check out our classes, check out our coaches, and find out our mission statement, and let us help you live your best life. Love you guys to the moon and back, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye now.